Hello, people! Welcome to another fine episode of Choose That Anime with your host Steve and Colin. I'm back.
You're back.
I'm back from my mysterious journeys abroad.
From it, and like I can see you sort of like shrouded in some sort of like, you know, uh, uh, the word is evading me, but sort of like piccolo style clothing, coming through the desert, uh, ready to re-enter existence.
I mean, like a turban.
No, I was thinking more just like sort of the flowing clothes, so that it was easier to get around in the desert.
Oh yeah, the many deserts of Scotland.
Yeah. You did. You said you'd been gone to lands far. I suppose like the. I don't think there is a desert in Scotland, so
There's beaches.
yeah, that's true.
It's
Although,
like a
here's a
desert.
question for you:
Uh huh.
what is the driest desert in the world?
Driest desert in the world.
Yeah,
I feel this is a trick question, and you
it
want me to say the
is.
Sahara, but it's not, is it?
Well, it's definitely not the Sahara.
So, is it the one in China?
Uh, no, I'm trying to remember where.
Or is it Salt Lake City in
Hold
America?
on.
Or is
It's
it...
technically, think, I think, it's actually not a desert. It's just the driest place.
Oh, well, that's completely different, isn't it?
Well, okay, what's the driest place on Earth?
Driest place on Earth.
Yeah.
Ethiopia. It's got a big
No,
fire pit in it.
it's not somewhere hot, which is interesting.
Wait, you mean like it's Antarctica then?
It is Antarctica.
The driest place.
Well, it's what it's. They're called. It's the what is it? McMurdo Dry Valleys are largely snow-free valleys, and I don't think they get any real snowfall
Alright, okay.
or moisture just because it's just where they are or something like that.
Is that not like where those dinosaurs lived in the X-Men?
Oh, maybe.
With the pterodactyl dude and that other dude. And they did some stuff. And Magneto went there and Sinister? Was it Sinister?
Sinister.
He was there too,
Was
doing some shit.
I'm sure there's a quote. It might be from Spider-Man though.
Alright. What's the
Yeah,
quote?
it's it's a panel where Peter Parker said, "What is it?" Oh well, he's shouting at a giant pterodactyl with fists, and there's a triceratops that he's riding on, and it says, "With the DNA we liberated from the grave desecration you call a museum, I perfected the saurianization process. You rice paper puppets will be given forms befitting Earth's dominant species." And Spider-Man says, "You can rewrite DNA on the fly, and you're using it to turn people into dinosaurs. But with that tech, with tech like that, you could cure cancer." And the dinosaur's response is, "But I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs."
At least he's honest.
It's just such a stupid. I've never understood it. It just makes me laugh because I understand that as a legitimate comic cell and not one that's been tampered with. It's like, wow, good writing.
Oh, you comics had good writing in them.
Yeah. So we're back to it. Last
Mhm.
week, we had Robbie and we went through Vampire in the Garden
Yep.
as a little bit of a break from Steins Gate. But today we are back with episodes 19 and 20. First, episode 19. What do you have for a name for it, Colin? Do you
Oh,
still have it?
I still have that as a name, and I'll let you pronounce it.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to say it first? What I have first?
Yep.
Endless apoptosis.
Endless apoptosis. I
Yep.
mean, that's how you're pronouncing it.
Yep.
Apoptosis.
Apoptosis. I can't remember what apoptosis is. I'm pretty sure it's a biological term.
For
Apoptosis. I'm just going to check that now. Is the process of programmed cell death. That's what it is.
oh, there you go. Processes.
It's used. Yeah, it's used during early development to eliminate unwanted cells. For example, those between the fingers of developing hands. So like you would have webbing in between your fingers,
Uh-huh.
and then the cells would die in those bits.
All right. Wait. When?
Like when you're being like when you're before you're born, as you're developing,
In the
you'll
fetus.
have webbed. Yeah, as a fetus, you will have the in betweeny bits of your hands.
Well, I mean, I suppose that makes sense because, like, you're kind of, big blob at the start and
Yeah,
then
like
expand. You don't just kind of like just grow
you don't just be
fingers.
person. Although, not to spoil it, but if you go and see the horror movie Men, there's definitely some weirdness in that realm that might be worth a watch.
I mean,
Movie's fucked.
all the movies that you watch are fucked, Steve.
They are, to be fair. I do deliberately seek them out.
Yes. You went to the cinema just to be on your own. Were you on your own in that viewing?
There were three other people turned up
Three other people.
in a cinema screen that was fit for about 90 plus, and three other people turned up.
Oh yeah, it was at Cineworld, wasn't it? Wasn't it a DCA thing?
Mm. Yeah, it was the big nice screen number 9.
Oh, at the back.
Yep.
The premium one with the bar.
Yep. Premiere screen, yeah.
Yeah.
It was back when they used to do table service, which was before even because I worked at that cinema before I worked at that cinema. They used to do that.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even remember ever having table service. Never. I was never in that. It's always for private viewings and stuff.
No, it was more sort of like films with not as big an audience,
All right.
which explains why what I went to see was in that screen.
Makes plenty of sense. Also,
Yeah.
that's a weird fetish.
What is?
That men thing in the
Oh,
in
it's
body horror.
there's definitely some. If there's a fetish in there, I would classify that as maybe not healthy. Maybe like I don't want to yuck people's yum, but like there's definitely I'm going to suggest quite an unhealthy fetish for most of that.
All right. That's
So where did we leave off? So yeah, this is where we got Ruka is now returned to being a boy
yes.
in the timeline.
Mhm.
And we established that the next person we need to go and see is Moeka
Yes.
about her D-mail. If we remember correctly, I believe that her D-mail revolved around something like, "Oh, I want to tell myself not to buy this phone," or something like that.
That's what she's said she sent.
Yeah, that is what she said she sent. So of course, I think this episode pretty much kicks off with Okabe going to Moeka's apartment.
Not quite as quick as that.
No?
It starts off with Moeka standing on a rooftop in a stormy night, clutching her
That's
phone.
right. This is a flashback, of course, as we'll find out.
Oh, I mean, it could easily have been
Could have been then and there.
because it's like she's sat on the roof going, "Oh, I'm really sad," and then going to jump type motif on her, and then it cuts through the intro and goes to the lab, and Okabe is kind of just I'm Mayuri with sad eyes waiting for it, and Mayuri trying to cheer him up. And
Yeah.
he's not having
He's
it.
not for it.
And then Carissa goes, "Yo, to the roof now, dude. Need to talk." And he's like, "All right." And then he's like, "Yeah, she's going to die. I just don't know when, but she's going to die." And I'm just waiting for the exact time and date, how, when, because her point of death has extended by 3 days or
A
4
day?
days.
Is it 3 days we're in now? It's
Because
it's longer.
I think it goes back. Her life expectancy changes roughly a day for every time loop it goes back.
Each iteration. Yeah.
So it's what, 3 so far. Susie, what's her name? And
Wait.
Ruka.
Suzuha was the first time. That was the biggest change that saw a day change, though, right?
Yeah, that's the one that set he first noticed it from. Then he had
Right. And then it was Faris.
Faris, yeah, and then it's Faris, and then you had
Ruka.
Ruka. So that's three so far.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So and then Carissa goes, "All right. So what you say? We need to go and stop Moeka's revert Moeka's email that she sent." So yeah,
Yeah.
well, you focus on finding her, and I'll go with Mayuri to the convention. And that's agreed on, because at this point you kind of look into like Okabe's eyes and see how dead he is inside.
Yeah. Because the thing I suppose that we're not really noticing is we get a vague idea of how many times he's gone back, but that was the initial part of it. It's
Yeah,
like, we saw every iteration to start with, and now I wonder if the inference is like, no, we're showing you the successful attempts, and he's done this a lot. It turns out.
yeah. I'm pretty sure he's essentially gone back at least a few times before they went start. Let's go back and take the emails away
Yeah,
from it.
he is struggling with, well, one, the knowledge of every attempt,
Mm-hmm.
and in particular his success ratio is not great.
Yeah,
And it's not pushing him further. It's not fixing the problem quickly enough.
no, no, it's not. So anyway, he's focusing on finding Monica,
Mm-hmm.
and he tracks her down to an old job, and she says, "No, she lasted like a day and then disappeared." Oh, I got her home address, but why should I tell you? And then must have told him because there's some reason, never hear the reason, because he turned next thing he knows, he has the address and he's turned up to the apartment, which has now got like a big keep out tape around it and a big blue thing up because she's committed suicide.
Yeah. That is a bit interesting.
So the last couple of episodes that we talked about have been, kind of positive and happy and moving things in the right direction. And now this one's just kind of snapped us right back into depression and the darkness of what it is.
I feel like the thing with this that made me quite curious is, of course, is like, because this is what happens if Mayuri doesn't die
Oh, it's
at the time she was going to.
I think this is what happens when SERN don't believe that he's a threat.
But if they don't believe he's a threat, then why is Mayuri still dying?
Because it's
'Cause it's
fated
just
to
other
be.
ways. Yeah, it's just okay. Yeah.
He's trying to fight fate, it seems.
But this is where we this is we sort of find out why this has happened, but of course Okabe's natural reaction is to jump to an earlier time because he needs to convince Moeka to not send this this D-mail. Comes back to the same place, and she is alive.
Yeah,
in a manner of speaking. she's
breathing.
She is, but she seems to be like really struggling cognitively and mentally, and trying to contact a person that we find to be called FB using her phone.
Well, she has mentioned this name in the past.
Yeah, that's right.
She confused Okabe as FB.
Yeah,
Even though
that's right.
You learn next episode that she thinks that FB is a woman.
Yeah, is that next episode?
Or maybe later this episode.
No, I think that's this episode.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, might be this episode.
Because it talks about she talks a lot about the types of message. And because I think it's the types of message that and the type of encouragement that the FB was sending, because we talk a lot. I'm pretty sure it's this one where we talk a lot about the relationship of those messages and why it means so much.
To a degree, yeah.
Does it not go back to the fact that, as you said at the start of it, she's stood on top of this roof, looking like she's ready to just let go, and then do we not return to that a little bit? To say it's like, but the reason she didn't was because FB messaged offering a job.
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, Okabe finds Moeka in a room, sitting in a corner, clenching his phone, going FB, 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 and texting it at the same time, like a crazy person. Because she is. And then the door's unlocked. Okabe goes in, sees her there, and goes, I need to see your phone. And she just totally ignores him. And then he grabs it, tries to grab it from her hand, and she's like, no, that's mine. And goes.
She is super not happy with him touching that phone.
Oh, super not happy.
Yeah, there's definitely an intensity to that to that. I don't want you to have this phone.
I
mean, it gets rough.
Oh, it gets really rough. So I can't remember how he actually snatches it off her. Oh no, yeah, I remember how he feels full on whaps her in the face because he just has flashback of her just like killing Mayuri.
I think it's she's screaming at full bore at him, basically.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, no, enough of this. Smack right across the chin. And he's like, haha, phone.
Yeah.
And then runs away.
It legs it and shuts the front door on her.
Yep. Well, just barricades himself on the outside.
Yeah, he leans against the door as she's frankly banging on it.
I felt quite a level of discomfort hearing her screaming like that, because it's a mixture of anger and like just real desperation in a way that I think it must be quite difficult to convey that as a voice actor, but I think they did a great job.
Oh yeah,
with that, I must admit.
She was like a demented person.
Oh, like completely, like just really
possessed by a ghost. Like scream.
Oh yeah.
Give it back! Slams. He phones Kurisu on our line and goes, right. I got the phone.
Gonna send the message now. Yeah, and it's like, what the hell is that noise? Busy. Send the message, please. Need to do this. So is the television on? What's it called when the TV's on?
The lifter.
Is the lifter on? Yes. Mayuri's downstairs watching TV. Mr. Prawns with his daughter.
Yeah.
And yeah, he types the message, trying to convince Moeka not to send the first message, and nothing.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a silence for a second, and
Yeah.
then back on the door again. It's like, oh no, that didn't work. And
Oh,
then he tries again and sends another message,
that's
and nothing. Is that the reading Steiner is not kicking in?
yeah, yeah. I'm sure he does it, and it doesn't really stop. It's still happening. It's like, oh, that's not changed at all. And then,
It's the second time he does it that it stops a little bit.
yeah, for some reason it stops, and then she just starts at it again. So I realizes, oh shit, maybe they have a wee discussion and go, wait, that is the same phone that she had already. She never
Yep.
changed her phone.
Nope.
So what did she send?
Ah.
Ah,
And then, of course, he has to get back in the ring.
yeah, yeah. But this time the neighbours are moaning, complaining about the
Yeah,
noise.
that's right. It's like, yeah, what the fuck is going on? It's like, he's just upset.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they said that.
I can't remember what it is he says. He comes up with some lame excuse and then, heads back in,
Hmm.
and they have a full on confrontation about, he's confronting Moeka about FB,
Yeah.
and I think he then kind of does he not like start to tell her about, I'm from, I know I've done this before. The last time I came here, you were dead. Like this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, don't believe that. This is
Word,
bullshit.
word is there. Uh, yeah, he kind of like body slams her to the floor.
He gores her like Edge from WWE style to the ground,
Yeah.
pins her down, and of course the door is still wide open at this point.
Yeah.
And the neighbors come in to find out. It's like, what the hell is all the noise? And he's like, I know, kiss her. That's
Yeah.
gonna be better.
Looks
That'll
like
shut her up.
yeah. Looks like they're having it. They're getting on, and then the
Oh
neighbor
yeah.
goes away. Oh, disgusting, leaving the door open.
Can't even close the door. Ugh.
Oh,
And he is made to get off quite quickly by her biting his lip and causing quite a lot of blood to come out.
I mean that's fair, but she's calmed down at that point. She's like,
Yeah. And I think we're kind of we kind of glossed over a bit about the fact that it was FB that kind of gave Moeka the mission to find the IBN 5100, and that's why there's like she's so into she was so into finding it and knowing what was going on. And then I think at this point, she's sort of as you say, she's a bit more docile,
yeah,
and I think what is it he does? He's searching through her phone. Does he not search through her phone to find the text
yeah,
that she
yeah,
sent
yeah,
at this point? And it's like, oh, and it's something to do with the location of the IBN 5100.
yeah, yeah. So he's doing that, and it talks about thing, and then she's like, "You got to tell me what that text message you sent was, or the text message that you received from your future self, because
Yes.
I think that came out earlier." And she's like, "How did you know that?"
Yeah. Oh, that's what it is. That's when he starts like going into the whole I've done this
Yeah,
thing.
and you're going to die in 4 days.
Yeah. Sad, pathetic, and lonely. I think he does like hammer that home quite a fair bit.
Yeah.
He's definitely not pulling any punches when it comes to insulting her.
Oh yeah. Well, he's he's gone through some trauma with because of her following orders.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, it's pretty grim. Um, so he does. She he gets the information around what message it was. He sends another message back to cancel that out,
Yeah.
and it doesn't change anything.
No.
Again,
Again, doesn't change anything.
um,
And then
yeah, and this is where we sort of realize that I suppose that sending the message back is one thing, but it has to be convincing enough. And ultimately, for Moeka, nothing would have been convincing enough to stop her doing what FB wanted her to do.
yeah. Well, that's kind of proving the point because there's a point where she says, "You said I killed someone," and he's like, "Yeah, you did. Would you? If FB told you to kill someone, would you do it?" And she's like, "Yeah,"
Without hesitation.
without hesitation. Uh,
Yeah.
and then, but she gives him information that the IBM 5100 is in a locker next to the building.
Yeah. She's, despite the fact, has not been convinced enough to not go back on that message. She has not enough to change the world line. It has been enough to convince her to tell Okabe where the IBM 5100 is.
Yeah.
Which I suppose is the thing that is essentially, if they go to that locker, they'll be able to find out who it is that's looking for it, and hopefully figure out who FB is, I suppose.
Well, that's it. That's what she asked Okabe. Is like, "Where are you going?" I'm off to find out who FB is, because I talk about, oh, she's quite motherly, and there's a, like I said, there's a flashback to where she
Yeah.
was like a kid, in like a school uniform, and then also like when she's on the roof about to
Yep.
jump, and then she gets a message, "I got a job for you." Big thing.
I think the thing about I think it's obviously we find out more about the motivations, or the sort of what FB does for two people. I think it's that the thing that always struck me is that kind of flashback. It shows you the text message, and as you said, it's like, "Oh, I got a job for you," and it's like, "But I don't." She's like, I'm not really good at anything. And like, that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's like, and I kind of get that. Like, there's the whole sort of, someone who is so downtrodden and so done, and then all of a sudden here's someone who just, it doesn't matter that your ability to value yourself. I can give you value because you
yeah,
can do things for me. And like, there's definitely a kind of weird cultish mentality there, manipulative mentality coming across to my mind.
yeah. So that's only because she has been manipulated.
Oh well, to be fair, I thought that as soon as I saw this text messages in the flashback. It just
Yeah,
didn't seem right. Well, like, no, like, it sounds terrible, but it's like, here's a girl who is just so disillusioned with life. It's like, the only thing I can do is not be alive anymore because there's nothing working for me. I'm not good at anything. I don't have any value. And then for someone to contact her at that point, at the worst point, and be like, "Oh no, you got value.
yeah,
You could be valuable for me."
yeah,
And it's like, "Oh, okay. Why? Why wouldn't you, like, why, if you were genuinely trying to help this person, why is that the moment you say something? You know?" So like, whatever it was, like manipulative or not, it just seemed opportunistic, I suppose, in a way that just leads me to think that there was definitely something else
yeah.
going on here.
Yeah, but I suppose at the moment she's kind of already broken and about to
But
take her life, and then
that's exactly it. It's like, but like I say, is that if the person who was messaging you cared, that wouldn't be the first time they'd message.
no, it wouldn't be, but I suppose in that sense, it's a sense of acknowledgement. Is the best way to put it. And it's like, oh, someone actually acknowledged me in this world.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
mostly
it's
being ignored, and therefore by them being concerned that you're worthwhile for them to even put a response in will convince her.
but that only weighs in on the manipulation thing. Whereas, like, yeah, it's like, oh, just at that moment where you need someone to see you, someone sees you. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, I know, but that's the whole point.
yeah. Oh no, absolutely. We're going to talk about
Yeah,
that.
that's the
But
whole
that
point
I
of that.
think that is the end of the end of this episode is him saying
What?
that he's going to go and find out who FB is and walking away.
Yeah, that's it. That was the conclusion of this episode.
What do you rate this one?
Uh, I think an 8. I kind of liked it. It started afresh. Sort of like it felt different. It drew itself away. It
Yeah,
wasn't like a continuation. It was just like the next logical step in the story, and then it brought you back down. It's like, oh yeah, he's doing it. He's doing it. He's going to win. He's going
yep.
to get save my Yuri. Oh no, she's still dying. Like fucking then.
He's going to
Uh,
make the change. No, he's not going to make the changes.
yeah, yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about the fact that at some point, what? No, after he finds out she's died, he doesn't go straight back. He goes back to the lab and waits for a report from Carissa, telling her when Marie dies. And she's upset with that.
Yes, that's right. And
Uh,
then goes back.
and then goes back.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So
Just I suppose, yeah, because that was I don't know if that was him testing the water again. To that likely was him figuring out what significant change he'd made.
yeah, how long she's going to survive? I think,
Yeah,
and he was
yeah,
right.
it's fair.
That's about a day extra. Yeah.
So then
So
I think an 8 is fair. Like
yeah,
I actually really enjoyed the learning more about Moika's character because I think she's been mysterious enough at this point, and even though she's still relatively mysterious, I think it's what I suppose is very interesting is here's someone who doesn't have any skills and doesn't or certainly from a self reflective perspective doesn't think they provide any value, doesn't have any skills, and so on and so forth, and yet
yeah,
has managed to become sort of some kind of accomplished team member of a squad of people. So like there's a transformation in there somewhere that's interesting.
yeah. It's kind of weird. The other thing was uh during the episode, there's like part of the flashback. It says, "So what's so special about FB?" And they were like, "Oh, FB, he gave me purpose. It felt
Yep.
my need." And then Okabe does a flashback for well, she was in the lab and got really annoyed with what she said
Yep.
because he's provided more
More purpose.
more purpose in that regards to her than FB has.
Yeah. I think yeah, he has a certain amount of rage, like anger there as well. It's like you could have had as much purpose as you'd wanted
Yeah, but
because
yeah,
you just chose not to. Like there was an actual connection there, a human connection, not just a disembodied text message
yeah,
that but I think there's definitely a thing weighing her in that decision because it's FB, despite not knowing who they are or never having met them, they're the one that saved you. They're the one that provided you with the opportunity to be more and be seen.
mhm.
Even if you found more purpose beyond that, she's like forever indebted to FB for saving her in the first place.
Yeah, and then it's also to the point where we kind of touched on it, but yeah, she's also said that She doesn't know who FB is. Thinks it's a girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the things that they say are motherly.
Yeah. But anyway.
Oh boy. Yeah, here we go. Episode 20, Final Apoptosis.
That's it.
Or Finalize Apoptosis, rather.
Finalize Apoptosis.
Yep.
Apoptosis.
Yeah.
Apoptosis.
No.
Apoptosis.
Apoptosis.
What? No, optosis.
Octogenarian. No, it's none of those things. Is it the same, though? Is it Finalize Apoptosis?
It is. It's just I'm pronouncing it differently. Because, you know, Optosis. Optosis.
Apoptosis.
Yeah. Why is that apoptosis and not apoptosis?
Apoptosis.
Apoptosis.
Because it's like arrhythmic.
Arrhythmic? You're what's that band called?
Eurythmics.
Eurythmics.
Yeah, like arrhythmia. I don't know what the English term for having the A pronounced as A is. I'm sure there will be a term for that. But
Alright. So it's not apoptosis.
apoptosis. No.
Apoptosis.
I'm trying to.
I mean, it's not. You go application or application, not.
No, it's A, not A.
Yeah. Application. Application.
Application, yeah.
Yeah. Because it doesn't have the magic E.
Pronunciation.
Androgynous. Androgynous.
Oh, no, that's a YouTube video. I don't want that. No, I can't. I can't find. You know what? This is not interesting. Episode 20. This episode starts off with, as we kind of said, Okabe is now going to find out who FB is. But speaking to Carissa about this, she's like, well, don't steal it. Because, we could just watch.
Well, no, something like that. You see him appearing sitting on the bench.
And
then
he does want to take it though, because he doesn't have a key though either. There's no.
Yeah.
He also doesn't know which locker it's in, because he'd broken them all open.
Yeah, you had. It's like yeah. He goes back to the lab, and Carissa goes, "What are you looking for? A crowbar." What?
Yep.
What for? Breaking the locker. No, that's not going to work, mate.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Also, reasons with him because it's more of it's not going to work because you say Mayuri dies, and you can't change that, and you don't have the 5100, so reasons to believe that won't change either.
It's a valid argument.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, he'd be openly committing a crime.
Oh yeah, he doesn't really care about it.
And several times until he finds the right one, right? Does he know what one it is? I don't think he does know which one it is.
I don't think so. Being a bit weird though.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's away to do the thing. Mayuri's kicking about in this one a bit. Saying how, or was that the last one as well, where she states that how everything's kind of different. I can't cheer him up. I think that's what he was looking at her. No, anyway, so he goes to basically stick out these lockers, and then Moeka appears with a bag of food. And he's like,
Yeah.
"What you do here? Get away! Don't want you.
Yeah.
Go.
Get.
Yeah."
She's sitting slightly far away from him though, on an opposite bench.
Yeah, he told us not. And he's like, "All right,
Yeah.
you can stay."
Don't sit next to me.
Yeah. He tells Carissa, and she's like, "What? You can't trust her."
Yeah. Well, she's here, so
Yeah, not much I can do.
No. Just fair.
Yeah. And I think Chris is with Mayuri, and they're walking back to the store.
Mm-hmm.
And Mayuri's like, "Oh, he's really distant from me these days. We don't really talk as much." Type thing. Kind of looks like that'd be a bit different and stuff. And it's like, yeah. Bumps into Mr. Braun's daughter. They go do do do.
Oh, they do. They both do it.
Yeah. High five.
High five and a doot to do.
Yeah. And then Mr. Braun's there and is like really happy. Seems really cheerful.
He is.
Like actually saying he misses the guy. And
Yeah.
Carissa apologising for last night when she turned on the time machine. And he's like, "Oh, that's alright, I'm just going to hike up his rates."
That'll teach him.
Yeah, and they're having a wee friendly conversation. And then the daughter reminds, "Oh, you're going to miss the sale, Dad." "Oh, yeah."
Yep.
Better go get that food.
Gotta go.
And then it's the night when they come.
When someone arrives to pick up the IBN.
Yeah.
I think somebody comes to pick it up, and they kind of, this is where it sort of gets a bit stealth mission ish, where they're just kind of like Scooby-Doo sneaking behind them. It's like, oh, there they are, okay, and then it kind of gets passed along to a bunch of different people.
Yeah. And he misses one. Makes a mistake because he was following one off the train. And he left the package on the train. You know, that's this type of thing, like you leave a package on the train and then bomb squad comes and blows it up.
Same as your luggage at an airport.
Yeah. It's at least that's the paranoia in this country anyway.
I mean,
but I think that's mainly
there's been history of it.
Yeah, I think that's mainly because of the IRA.
That and the actual bombings in the subway in London and
those are after the IRA.
Oh yeah.
I mean we have it's not
lots of bombs.
Yeah, and hopefully that continues not to be a thing.
God willing, that would be nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so he has to de-mail himself and then has to trail it, and he sees a package getting handed off to a guy in a truck,
Yep.
and it's Mr. Braun,
Yeah.
friendly
Which is
store,
friend. Yeah, friendly Mr. Braun.
friendly Mr. Braun.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to admit I was quite shocked at that.
Yeah, yeah, you did. You would have thought we
You
had.
know, we don't know his particular involvement, and we've seen a number of people touch it, so you know we don't really know specifically how significant a problem that is or not yet.
Yep.
I think we then see the pack because obviously he then hands it. Does he not hand it over to someone else, and then it kind of goes in a plane or something like that? And
Yeah, so he takes it home.
yes,
And then someone comes to his house and picks it up, and then they follow
yes,
that guy, and he gets sent off on a plane to France.
yep, yes, to where CERN is located
Yes, what
on the French-Swiss border.
that's what they assume. Yeah,
Well, you would imagine so.
that's what he says. I imagine that's off to CERN now.
I wonder if that's where that is actually.
Oh, he has to do another text because they had to get a car to follow Mr. Braun, and he has a
That's right.
comment with Monica's Monica of when the last time you drove? Oh, my driving test. Oh, then keep it easy then. And then yeah, so then they go back to Mr. Braun's place. Oh, Carissa appears because she is worried. There's been a few times like we should probably mention it because it's pretty much a kind of relationship building thing. Like in the
Yeah.
last episode, with all that banging and screaming, she was like, "What the hell's that? Oh, that's just Monica." And it's like, oh,
She's not happy.
she's not happy really. And then he hangs up on her and says, "I'll call you right back. I've got something to do." Where he dives into the room and have that big
Yep.
like, and then I don't know how long it was before he ends up calling
like
her back.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. I guess what he says it was anyway.
Oh, I'm sure it was longer. For a
He
few
says
minutes.
it's like 3 minutes. I was away. Were you worried about me or something?
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose that might have been what we said. Anyway. And then in this episode, he was trying to keep in contact with her while doing the trace, but didn't. And she got a bit upset at that point, and comes to meet them. I think, yeah, she meets them at the airport.
That's right, she does.
Yeah. And then she goes, "By the way, you need to maybe speak to Mayuri and go to that Comic Con tomorrow."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I haven't been spoken to her much. Well, maybe that's mainly because I've seen her die like a billion times.
Seeing her is just a reminder of the fact that she's going to die soon, and it's that I'm the only person who can do something about that. So
Yeah. And then so he goes, says, "Right, we got a meeting with someone, confrontation."
Yeah, so what is this? It's Okabe, Moeka, and Kurisu all go to have a chat with Mr. Braun.
Yeah, and I think it's the fourth day that
Yes.
Moeka's been alive because he looks at the time in the car.
Yep.
Just to say,
That's right.
Yeah.
And of course, his daughter is asleep because he's making breakfast, isn't he? Or
yeah.
Making.
No.
Yeah, I think it is breakfast actually.
His daughter is asleep. He was going to make breakfast, but they knock on the door.
That's right. But yeah, she's asleep basically, and he's the only one that's up in the house.
Mm-hmm. And it's like,
And they start asking some questions about, hey, we saw you with a package.
yeah, yeah. We saw you with the package, and what's your connection with FB? And then he's like, oh, because he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I was only joking about that rent hike.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, oh, you're here because of. It's like, don't be here to apologize. I was only kidding.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
so weird.
yeah. And then he was like, no, I'm going to ask you about FB. It's like, oh,
That's different.
can keep your mouth shut, M4, which is Monica's code name.
I I did not see this coming.
That he was FB.
Nope.
I mean, don't think I did the first time I watched it.
Nope. Did not see this coming. Like, I was. Well, couple of things.
Uh huh.
Because of course I know where it goes after this, but
Yeah.
it was the moment there where it was like, that person who, whether he means it or not, like ultimately Miuri was in his apartment with his daughter watching television,
Mm-hmm.
and that was that person that was there with her was the guy who was messaging saying, it's like, okay, go and kill her now. She can't come. She's got to die. The rest have to come with us.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's her take at that point. It's more the fact that that's eventful sequences obviously hadn't happened in this timeline.
Oh no, for sure. But I think like the thing is though is we have the benefit, and Okabe has the benefit of multiple timelines worth of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not ultimately it would have led to the same thing doesn't matter anymore. It's just the fact that regardless, that person you knew or thought you knew
Mm-hmm.
is not that person, and also is the person who called the hit on
Oh,
the reason you're keeping doing this.
yeah. Basically, no one really reacted to that, and
I was quite surprised that no one reacted to that, because I immediately went, holy shit, he's the one that's responsible for all of this to a degree.
to a degree.
Yeah, oh, yeah, because like you say, because ultimately there's a bit of fate in this, because it's really, Miuri, despite the fact that she's no longer killed by Moeka, still dies. But the
Yeah.
first time, it's his fault.
Yeah, yeah. First time is certainly he got the orders to provide to people to do it.
It's crazy. It's
So,
really crazy.
uh, so the scene moves on, and he's like, "Look, my daughter's asleep. Can we not do this here? Let's go somewhere else."
Yeah.
And then they move to just outside a construction site.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a construction site on its day off or something like that.
Yeah. Well, no, they're still working. They hear the piling
Are
going
they?
on. Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if I paid attention to that. For some reason, I had it in my head that it was abandoned.
No, he was like, "Look at this. Always got to build new shit." Really upsets him.
Eh.
And
Well, as a person who's still looking after CRT televisions in the days of flat screens, I kind of get that.
that's a front.
Yeah.
I mean, why?
He has to know what he's talking about, though.
Yeah, I know. He does. It's like Suzuha seemed to know what she was talking about
Yeah,
in the future.
but I think like because I suppose we get a bit of background on like his position, and
Mm-hmm.
he's essentially a rounder
Uh,
for CERN.
yeah, he was. Okabe calls him a SERN lapdog, and he goes woof woof.
Yes. Yeah, he does. And as much as I really loved that, I was like, "Oh, you're such a scumbag."
He's anyway, he knows his position in society, and he knows that he can't get out of it. So he basically talks to Moeka about something,
Yep.
and then the straight up shoots her in the head. No, in the chest.
That because it's like the code. What is it? What is it? Is the like that's he's failed his mission essentially by being discovered.
Yeah. Well, I no. He said that Moeka's. I didn't contact you anymore because you've no use to me.
Yep.
We got the computer.
Oh, oh no, I know that.
Oh
That is incredibly harsh.
yeah, it's so cold.
Like
And
it is. It is, but the thing is that they try to lead into it like it's like, well, he's circumstantially a bad guy because he's just looking out for his daughter.
yeah,
Then it's like, well, yeah, but also when he had the opportunity to maybe even like knowing he has to do something that's going to be cold and calculated, he doesn't choose an option like to show any heart. He just, like he says, it's just like, well, you have no purpose here anymore. I don't need you. And
yeah,
it's just like, oh, that's just so, it's so cutting.
yeah. Well, and his justification for it is like she was going to die anyway. It wouldn't
That's
be by my
that,
hand. It would be by someone
that's
else's.
even worse. Like just it's like, yeah, I just
Uh,
don't care. Like because you were so unimportant that someone was gonna die anyway. What does it matter to me? And it's like that's just it just feels so devoid of humanity.
yeah. Well, it seems like he was crushed. And then he goes on his backstory how he's basically slept and he was like a homeless person.
Yeah.
And someone
Until yeah.
gave him a hand, and that was only after Okabe is like, "You're betraying Suzumiya's wishes."
Suzuha.
Yeah, you're betraying Suzuha, and then he got really pissed off with that. Now, is that before he shoots Monica or not?
I think that's before
Yeah, it might be before that
because
because
because yeah, because it's the reason she's the reason that he got picked up essentially.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so he's basically tells the story and goes, "Oh, what you know about her? Don't talk about her," type thing, because obviously he's
Yeah.
owns her like big time, and then shoots Monica, and then states, "Ah, I have no way out of this. I can't. I can go on the run, but it's no life for my kid, and they
Yeah.
know about my kid, and they threaten to kill her essentially if I don't
Yeah.
do any of the shit. So like, the only real way out for me is this," and then he kind of just shoots himself in the face.
I think Okabe's reaction of just like sheer stunned silence.
That and picking up, yeah, he was growing up.
Yeah, but yeah, like but just that initial sort of like there's no emotion for me to recognize what's happened right now is insane.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
it's it's crazy.
he's been through a shit lot, and he's still, and he's seen multiple people getting shot, and he's
Well,
still kind of like physically upset at seeing the dead bodies, or at least probably going, "What the fuck?" And then all of his emotion and everything is just kind of overcame him.
I think that's the thing as well is like you say, it's like even though like I guess we know at this point that these like this is reversible. This is not going to be. We know this isn't the reality that's going to stick because we're here to make it. We're here to do a thing that's going to make a change to the timeline. So those deaths aren't inevitable; they're avoidable.
Mm-hmm.
But to him, that still happened,
Mhm. Yeah, it
You know,
has.
like the death that he's experienced will not exist for the rest of the world, but it will exist for him
Yeah.
forever. Like
Yeah.
that's what it felt like. I think you're right. Like it feels like a bit of a culmination of just like, holy shit, I can't. There's just
Too
this is
much.
too much now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it does. It feels like a proper like the throwing up is like no, something has to come out because there's too much coming in here.
Yeah.
Um, but I honestly didn't, even after him shooting Moeka, which was genuinely quite shocking in itself because I didn't expect that. Like I say, I kind of the motherly thing because they have that whole conversation about it's like I was so sure that you
Mhm.
were a woman. And he's like, well, that's because that's how I did it. I played into your insecurity and I took advantage of you. And it's just like this really, for a person who's been pushed into a position that they probably never would have been in,
Mhm.
it just seems so, like I say, it just seems so devoid of humanity to take to then rail on this poor person who you've taken complete emotional advantage of, and then just cast them aside as soon as their usefulness was done to you. And then not only to admit that, but to not dwell on that even for a second, just to state it as a matter of fact. It's like, well, no, your usefulness is gone to me.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's why I stopped sending you messages. It's truly manipulative in a way that I think is quite some like I just for a person who I think you've seen has a bit of a heart and cares for people, but for them to behave like that seems a bit weirdly contrasting.
Yeah. Uh, I suppose he was always pissed off with Okabe, but at the same time, really weirdly, because SZA always mentioned that basically every conversation he has about the time machine was easily overheard through that window because it's
Yeah,
always open because uh, Daru couldn't stand it being closed.
that's right.
Uh, it's like you just kept it going and you'd learn all that crap and pass it on or and stuff. But I suppose that's not what he's there for.
Yeah, yeah.
So he does that. Then it goes to Sue's Moeka because she's not quite dead. She's only been shot
No.
and bleeding out. And goes pretty much last dying words, just like, "Please forgive me." It's pretty much it
Yeah.
says, and she falls, and he's like, "No." And then Carissa kind of comes to her senses and goes, "Quick, get his phone. We'll quit send that email."
Send the message. Cancel out Moika's D-mail.
Yeah,
Um, and of course that engages the reading Steiner.
yeah. So this
Uh,
basically send a message saying, "Uh, you do not, we do not require
was
the
it we no longer require the 5100
the
or
fifty one
something like
hundred."
that?
Yeah. So it goes back, but it kind of goes back to the point of the start of the last episode, where she's in the
Mm-hmm.
he goes to the room, but then
Yes.
at the same time, it's not been very long. I think in the progression of like the actual time frame that this has all been set
Yeah.
in present time, it's like a week or
Yeah.
maybe 2 weeks at most.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of just because it's time, there's been multiple many days, but all kind of like within the same time frame.
Yep.
It kind of just skews how many days is
Skews the
actually.
perspective a bit.
Yeah. Um. So anyway, that's happened, and she goes, "All right, well, we don't need that anymore." And he goes to the shrine and goes, "Is it there?" He goes, "Yeah, it's there." He goes and gets it. Um. and goes and yells for Daru, who's actually at the con. Is oh yeah.
Yes.
So he looks back in time, I think, or sends a message back
Yeah.
in time to say, "We need this shit done."
Yeah. I need the hack
Yeah,
to do me a hack.
yeah. But he lays out everything out to both of them now,
Yes.
not just Carissa, but Daru also knows that
No.
Maya's going to die.
Yeah, because I think it's. I think he feels at this point that like doing that doesn't make sense, so he's just going to get nothing but questions and pushback from Daru to do the thing he's asking him to do.
Yeah,
So he might as well be straight with him to just like, look, here's the context you need. Please do the job.
yeah, yeah. Here's it. He do that, and then he goes in, and he's just got to delete their contact with SERN.
Yeah, he needs to get linked to them and erase the data that they have on them to make it look like they're not a problem.
Yeah, yeah. And then he's sitting back there and he's talking to Carissa, who basically is saying, "All right, cool, that's it. You're almost done. Only one more email you got to stop from sending the original
Yeah,
email. Uh, stop from sending." And then just the look of dread disappears in Okabe's face as he realizes that it's either Ryuri or Carissa has got to die.
or Carissa. I not gonna lie to you. 4 or 5 episodes ago, I was like, man, I think he's gonna have a decision to make here, surely. And then it was like, nah, we're not gonna think about that. And it's like, no, but no, nah, it can't be because nobody's even broaching it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, and you're like, yeah, no shit. Think about it. Think where we came from, man.
But he was focusing on one thing for like I don't know how many
Oh,
days.
well, there's a thing. I suppose, like, there's that sort of initial insanity of just trying to fix what has just been
Mm-hmm.
such a shock, and then as we talked about as well, like, God knows how many times he did that and failed and did it and failed and did it and failed. So I think there's a certain amount of maybe psychosis involved in his momentum at a
Oh,
certain point.
oh yeah, yeah. So that's episode 20. It's 24 episodes.
Holy shit, we're so close.
It is. We're getting there. There's like another two episodes of this. There's also an OAV, like standalone episode.
Yep, which I think we talked about before we started recording. We'll probably give that a watch.
Yeah, I don't think it's really any special length or anything. I think it's just like another episode length.
We could just do a very short episode on that OV and
Yeah.
and then OVA
OVA.
OVA.
Oh, yeah. Only video
So we then
something.
um,
OAV?
um,
Only on video?
uh, original video animation.
Ah, was it? Original video animation. It's like from the term back in the day when it's on VHSs and stuff, where it's only got
And
released
not televised.
and not televised. Yep.
Good
Though
shit.
I'm pretty sure I saw them all on television.
Yeah, I've certainly seen what would be classified as OVAs on TV. So, um,
Yep.
so we talked about doing the OVA. We're probably going to do that, but then we also talked about maybe keeping this train going
Mm-hmm.
and
This record
heading
train.
into Steins Gate Zero.
Yeah, which maybe a
Prequel?
well, or maybe it's just talking about the timeline.
Who knows? We'll find that out. But I
Yeah.
suppose that is the thing. Is this is now getting into the territory of our Haruhi episodes.
Yeah. Well, on that note though, How did you rate this episode?
Shit. I think this is a 9 for me.
Yeah, I like that. It's certainly twists and turns, man. I like the kind of lighting effect through it as well, because even like the last episode, it was like, because like the ones before it, I remember they were kind of like all bright and shiny and fun. Well, especially episode 18, which is essentially a dating episode,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
all light and fluffy and stuff like that and light-hearted.
Yep.
And then you come to 19, and it starts off with a pitch black night and a stormy night.
You're right. It just visually becomes darker. Not only the content, but the visuals become more muddy and depressing.
Yeah, yeah, it certainly puts you in the mood. And then when they're following the package, I suppose it's a bit more lighter, but that's mainly because it's during the day.
Yeah. I think like a 9 for me is just that I think the reveal is good. I actually that sequence of that conversation between, what is his actual name? Hugo, Mr. Braun.
I'll just call Mr. Braun.
Mr. Braun, it's easier.
Oh,
That whole conversation is great. Like, that whole bit is just fantastic.
also, they got the name. You find out what FB is when you went, wait, you can't be FB. Oh yeah, well you called me Mr. Braun because of the tubes in my TVs, the Braun tubes. And who invented those? Frederick Braun or something like that. Or is it Francis Braun?
I'm gonna find out.
But it was the initials of the inventor.
Ferdinand Braun.
Oh, Ferdinand Braun, even better.
Yeah.
Weren't they? What?
Yeah.
That was like a band. What was the band called?
Franz Ferdinand, which is named after the Archduke of Austro-Hungary.
Oh yeah, that was right. The guy got killed for the First World War.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, I always remember it from Blackadder, where Baldric says the First World War started because some bloke called Archduke shot his ostrich.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's the Archduke of Austro-Hungary was shot.
Blackadder was some quality writing in that.
It's so good. So good. So, you also giving it a 9?
I can also give it a 9, man.
I think it's close to a 10, if I'm honest. Like, there were only, like, it was a little bit slower at the start for me, but it's that kind of perfect mix of just fascinating reveals and progressing the story and like really interesting character moments. Yeah, just really good.
Oh, it's certainly, because like I say before, the last couple of episodes were all kind of happy, joy, things are going in the right way for him, it's getting happy, and then 19 is like, oh no, wait, you're still dying, shit, and
Yeah.
wait, Moeka's completely crazy and only obsessed with this FB. How is he ever going to do
Yep.
it? And then
Fuck your happiness. It's time for things to get rough.
wait a minute, FB's fucking Mr. Braun.
Oh,
The fuck.
it's just that reveal is good, and him shooting himself is quite impactful, I must say. Like, that is, as I said, just not only for like Okabe's reaction and things like that, but just that moment of silence where he's just not sure how to react, I think is sort of mirrored to the viewer as well, because I honestly sat there and went, no, that no, that didn't happen. Like, no, that happened. Like, whether that we, it's not going to last, but that's a thing that happened. So yeah, that's rough. But yeah, we are 4 episodes from finishing this season. We'll be back next week with episodes 21 and 22.
Yeah.
Which leads me to say Who's That Anime is an anime podcast and can be found where all good podcasts can be found. Our home is at anchor.fm/Who's That Anime. We can be downloaded at Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Pocket Cast, Overcast, Spotify. You can listen to us all there, anywhere where you can use an RSS feed. We don't make any money on this. We just do it for enjoying talking about anime. So if you want to tell a friend because you like what we do to spread the word, that would be awesome. If you also want to leave a review, 5 stars, always welcome. Anything less with constructive criticism, absolutely welcome as well. We have a Facebook page, that's facebook.com/Who's That Anime, and there we will post when new episodes go live, and occasional anime memes and such fun. We have a YouTube channel, it's youtube.com, and if you search in the search bar for Who's That Anime, you should be able to find the channel. What is the latest video content that's going to be going on?
The latest. When's this episode going live? Is it tonight?
Tonight.
It's the second part of Cowboy Bebop. All the way to the end. And the movie.
Oh yeah. Oh damn.
Yeah, I'll put it all together because you kind of need the movie in between.
Yeah, that's right. We did the movie as another episode. I forgot about that.
Because it's kind of like the episode 20, in between the episode 22 and 23, essentially.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
I slid it in there like a pro. You'll never notice. Maybe.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that should be up now. It's after that time. It went live at 9.
Sweet.
And then
I which reminds me, I need to edit this episode real fast.
Yeah.
And get this put up. Shit. Oh fuck. Okay. You also like to play video games, sometimes online at twitch.tv/couchfuel. You have an archive of that stuff at YouTube as well if you search for the channel Couchfuel. I also like to play video games sometimes online at twitch.tv/HailPayman. There is a YouTube channel for archive of that as well if you go to YouTube and search for the channel Hail Payman. And that is us. We will be back next week with episodes 21 and 22 to tell you if the naming scheme is continuing to be correct, and to try and, further this journey down the road.
Oh,
good times ahead.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm pretty sure it's the same. I think the OAV might be different, but that's about it.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, this is Who's Your Anime? No.
Nah.
Who's
so close?
Oh shit.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Colin. This is our 67th episode. 67th?
No.
66th episode.
Yeah. Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. It absolutely is.
Anyway, I'm trying to say a line and it's not making sense in my head. I think that's my problem.
Okay.
This has been Who's That Anime with your hosts Steve and Colin. You just cut all those failures out and then just sandwich it together, Steve. We'll never know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be editing this at 10 o'clock at night, so I'm probably not going to. I'm going to leave that in, and as I always do.
No, not you.
Not me.
All our bloopers are kept safe, locked away in a car, never to be seen again.
Nah, they're totally in the episodes. It's like a good version of Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Oh, Jesus. A good episode.
I said good, yeah.
When? What? When?
I don't know. Just yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Shh. Let's not talk about
fine.
That. Anyway, yeah, this has been Who's That Anime. Been real. See you next anime time, next anime place.
Same anime time, same anime place.
Oh, he knows the lines.
I screwed it up the last time, which was pretty good.
Yeah. On that note then. Ciao.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
See ya.